Good afternoon and thank God it's Friday. I'm Holly for Kalkine TV and you're watching The Last Trade. At the market close, the ASX 200 finished up gaining 8.30 points or 0.11%. While the index has lost 0.67% for the past 5 days, it's currently sitting 4.31% below its 52-week high. On the sectoral front, 6 of 11 sectors ended higher, and energy was the best performer, gaining 1.35% and 0.40% for the past 5 days. Then as for shares, Northern Star has taken the cake today, up 5.8%. Closely following is Virgin Money, Champion Iron, Costa Group and Endeavour. Meanwhile, in the red zone is Domain, the top decliner, which plummeted a whopping 7.8%, followed by Afterpay, Mesoblast, Life360 and EML Payments. Although some stocks are grabbing more investor attention than others, digital lending company MoneyMe today announced that it's acquiring peer-to-peer lending business Society One for an estimated $132 million. The acquisition will boost revenue, customer and profit growth, and has the objective of winning market share from incumbent lenders. Although despite this, MoneyMe shares traded in the red zone today. Then looking at another acquisition, candle retailer Dusk announced a $28 million acquisition of Aroma Group, an Australian candle supplier. The merger is expected to give Dusk a 20% boost to their earnings before any synergies are considered. And it'll also give the retailer a number of other benefits, including the intellectual property of over 900 candle fragrances, greater buying power, and a larger online offering. Responding to the news, Dusk shares traded up over 7% today. And fertility operator Virtus has axed plans to buy the Helios-owned Adora fertility clinics for $45 million, blaming the slow pace of the ACCC for the decision. Virtus first announced intentions to buy the clinics back in August, but the competition watchdog then took the parties to court, accusing them of going ahead with the transaction without enough time for the regulator to weigh up the competition issues. A federal court hearing has been set for March next year, and today Virtus shares traded marginally up. Meanwhile, Afterpay as well, shares dropped today as investors reacted to the news that the company, along with PayPal, are among several BNPL fintechs being scrutinized by US regulators over their policies of letting consumers buy products now while paying for them later. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau said yesterday that it is demanding information from the companies because it's concerned that borrowers are accumulating debt, while the BNPL players might be engaging in regulatory arbitrage, and consumers' personal data could be misused. Now, speaking of new additions, Westfield operator and major landlord Scentre Group has appointed Catherine Brenner to its board as a non-independent executive. Similarly, the electricity and gas giant AGL Energy has appointed Graham Cockcroft as a non-executive director. And now for a glance at the global market performance, starting with the Asian market, where stocks struggled for traction today after a rush of central bank meetings underlying the growing threat posed by a spike in global inflation, while fears about the Omicron variant of COVID added to the cautious mood. Japan's Nikkei was 0.85% lower, and MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares lost 0.2%, while Indian equity benchmarks fell sharply as well. China's Shanghai Composite plummeted 0.4% and Hong Kong's Hang Seng sank 0.5%. Then in the US, on Wall Street overnight, the S&P 500 closed 0.9% lower, and the Dow Jones and tech stock-heavy Nasdaq Composite fell 0.1% and 0.25% respectively. Investors seem to be assessing the longer-term implications of the Federal Reserve's hawkish policy on corporate balance sheets. And then in the crypto sphere, the global cryptocurrency market cap today is $2.34 trillion. Cryptocurrency prices majorly dropped as Bitcoin fell over 2% in the last 24 hours and is trading at around $47,000. Following suit, Ethereum dropped as well by 2% and Dogecoin by 3.7%, as Shiba Inu witnessed a much further drop at 3.5. Traders are now discussing if crypto could be headed for a pronounced sell-off, especially after the Federal Reserve's hawkish pivot earlier this week, that may just accelerate the process. One telling signal is that trading volumes of both crypto and NFTs are declining after the surges. So time will tell if this shift is permanent. But that is all for now at the moment on the last trade. Tune in next week for more of the latest news and market insights only on Kalkine TV. This is Holly Shields signing off for the day.